This film is a celebration of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and we've asked people of Keynsham to share their memories of Her Majesty's reign over the last 70 years, and of their town as well. So many people have memories of street parties, of meeting the Queen, and of seeing the Queen on the high street and at their schools. A Jubilee is about so much more than just the Queen and the royal family. It's about the people. And it's an opportunity for them to come together, be with family, be with friends, and celebrate the place that they live in. Keynsham has always been a town that knows how to celebrate, especially when the Queen was involved, as seen in this footage by a local resident, Edward Cannock. In 1953, there were street parties throughout the town. Even though the weather was cold and wet, nearly all of the residents came out to celebrate the coronation of Elizabeth II. The town was festooned in a riot of red, white and blue. Flags and bunting waved merrily in the breeze. In fact, the town was so well dressed that it was judged Best Decorated Town in the Western Daily Press Coronation Decoration Contest. One Keynsham resident was a little girl when the Queen was crowned.
I've got photos from the coronation day at Marksbury when the whole village, we all dressed up in fancy dress, the adults and the children. And I actually dressed up as a lavender girl because I'd been bridesmaid to my auntie the previous year. So I already had the outfit. So my mum grew lavender in the garden. So she supplied a basket full of lavender. And my bridesmaid outfit also included a big Bo Peep bonnet. So it really looked good.
"25 years later, and Keynsham was celebrating again.
So this is a photograph taken by a photographer called Tom Harper in 1977 when the Queen visited Keynsham as part of her Silver Jubilee visits.
I have shared some photos that I took of the Queen arriving at Keynsham Station on the 8th of August 1977, and this is the camera that I actually used to take the photos. Probably a different lens, but I still use this camera today, so there it is.
People who have lived in Keynsham for a long time have really fond memories of this occasion. It was a really special time for this town, for the Queen to visit not just Bristol and Bath, but Keynsham too. Just shows, what a special place it is.
I can remember back in 1977 seeing the Queen walking around the centre in Bristol for her Silver Jubilee.
She didn't come to Yeovil, that's where I'm from, which is a shame, but I have seen her a few times over the years through my scouty background. She came round and she says hello to pretty much most people. She spent a little bit of time with me, and I just said from Yeovil, and that today I'm going to be doing a reading in the service, which I said I was a bit anxious about. And that was about it, really. And she walked on, and I just remember at the time thinking, she's quite little, and just like your granny.
We've always been really fond of the Queen, haven't we? Because our daughter met the Queen in Bath when she was here. When was that? She was probably 5.
She was in junior school, yeah, she would have been about, so what was that, 20 years ago? She came to Bath, and yeah, Georgia was picked to present with some flowers.
So, how did it go? Will Glennon was with her. practising that all-important curtsy. After all, it's not every day you get to greet the Queen. Both Georgia and her mum Sue have been getting more and more excited as the day has drawn closer.
Very excited.
Just the experience, isn't it, really? You know, no one else in her school will be able to say that they've done that, so it's very special. They did a competition of like drawings of the Queen's hats, it was. She got picked to go and represent the school.
It was great.
So, just a shade after 3 o'clock, the big moment arrives. Georgia waited patiently and handed the posy. The whole experience had left her speechless, but now the deed was done, had she forgotten something?
The only thing she messed up was she was supposed to curtsy and she forgot.
Yeah, she forgot to curtsy.
So,
But I think she was just so like in awe.
I don't think the Queen was too bothered.
No, she's a very special lady, isn't she?
A 60-gun salute on Horse Guards Parade marked the Queen's departure from the Houses of Parliament. She travelled in an open carriage back to Buckingham Palace. Thousands of flag-waving spectators lined the route of the procession.
I coordinated the Diamond Jubilee street party in the High Street. We had tables and chairs, we had Mr. Mac to coordinate, we had fancy dress competitions, we had a conjurer doing table tricks. The only thing that spoilt it a little bit was the fact it kept pouring with rain. By the end of it, I was soaked through, and the last few tunes played out to an empty high street as it was washed by torrential rain. Despite the rain, it was a fabulous day.
On the night of July the 10th, 1968, another rainstorm was to prove catastrophic. Keynsham suffered a terrible flood. Homes and roads were totally devastated, and the town was declared a national disaster area. It was a tragic event, and one local resident remembers it to this day.
And after the floods, Prince Philip visited Keynsham, and he came, I think it was just after they'd erected the Bailey Bridge across the Bath Road, on the Bath Road, and he came down to inspect that. And there's a funny thing with that in the book about the floods, there's a photograph of him talking to a Mrs. Box at the bottom of Bath Hill, and that was the mother of Ken Box, who was a friend of mine back in the 50s.
The ancient county bridge was so badly damaged that it was deemed beyond repair. The course of the River Avon had to be realigned to prevent such a thing happening again. And the community pulled together to get through the traumatic experience. 50 years after the flood, the ancient county bridge stone was erected in the Memorial Park. In 2012, one Keynsham resident, Liz Fox, commissioned Keynsham Forge at Leys Farm to make a golden crown in the style of that worn by William the Conqueror in 1066. Originally, the crown was sited in the town and is now in the Memorial Park, where the Keynsham in Bloom group are making a fantastic display.
This year it'll be red, white and blue with a 70 to represent the 70 years that our Queen has been on the throne. It's still more to be planted up, but it's looking particularly fine at the moment. And I would like to say, I think it's always been beautifully kept. And I'm just going to wander around and I'm going to just say that this crowned not with gold alone, but with the people's love. And I think that's a particularly wonderful sentiment.
Floral tributes aren't all the group has been making. They've also been busy with their knitting needles.
This is the red, white and blue bunting, which is knitted specially for the window in the Oxfam shop. I'm holding a huge Union Jack, which is on a frame. Everybody's contributed lots of different flowers, red, white and blue, different shapes, sizes, to fill in the Union Jack. Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful display. We've done lots and lots of bunting, flowers and all sorts for the park generally.
It's not just knitted flowers that bring colour to the town. The man responsible for keeping the blooms looking good was a little boy when he had an encounter with the Queen.
My memory of 1977 and seeing the Queen on her Silver Jubilee is going with my parents, absolutely petrified because of all the people that were there, being pushed to the front of the crowd on the roadside. A red rose was thrust in my hand, and as I put my hand up, I felt the Queen's glove brush the back of my hand and take the flower from me.
This is from the Silver Jubilee. It's a thing of tea, and I've still got the price on it, and I paid the princely sum of 98p for it. So it shows how inflation have gone on.
It wasn't tea, but champagne that one couple were drinking on Jubilee Day 1977, as they were having their own special celebration.
Pete asked to marry me, and we got married on the 4th of June 1977. The church we were married at was
Queen's Road.
And luckily enough, I was a leader of the 3rd Keynsham Girls Brigade. So when we came out the church, there was a guard of honour of all the girls that belonged to the 3rd Keynsham Girls Brigade. And luckily enough, the weather was lovely, that I was able to walk across because we lived right across from the church. So I walked to the church. So this is a picture of Keynsham. And if I remember rightly, this was a library that I used to go to get my library books. I think she was actually coming through the high street to go to the Keynsham railway station to have a train ride to where she was next going.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I didn't know Keynsham at all. I do
Until
now.
he met me.
I do now. I won't live anywhere else. I love Keynsham. It's my own now.
A local poet, Nikki Howell, who was a child in 1977, has captured her memories of the Silver Jubilee celebrations in verse.
I was 7 years old when I learnt about the Queen. 'Twas her Silver Jubilee year, now let me set the scene. My parents and the neighbours all met to discuss the plan for laying on a street party like only the British can. Our houses backed onto a green, 3 sides of a square, so they decided the street party would be best prepared out there. They set up a great big tent with tables just outside. Everyone contributed food, bringing their offerings out with pride. At school we all were given a special commemorative coin, sealed in a clear plastic case. I'm sure I've still got mine. Union Jacks hung everywhere, from windows, lampposts and such. We really had a wonderful time and enjoyed it very much. The Queen went on a grand tour, being driven through many towns, waving in her delicate way, delighting the excited crowds. And now it's her Platinum Jubilee, 70 years upon the throne. Queen Elizabeth II is a marvel, and she's our very own.
There's another local author who has a connection with the Queen.
Well, I wrote to the Queen about everything that I'd done. I did a book for the NHS, and I did a book for Save the Children. One was about a girl's dream for a greener world, and the other one was about a bee that had loads of food, and then she turned into a nice queen bee. I got this letter. The Queen wishes me to thank you for your letter and the delightful photos you enclosed. Her Majesty.
To hear about your fundraising efforts for the National Health Service heroes and key workers, and for the imaginative proposal to create new community orchards and wildlife gardens in the village, in the hope that other communities will do the same. I wish you every success in raising awareness of the environment And thank you very much.
Thank you very much once again for writing at this time, Lady in Waiting. At school we're doing a little party and we're thinking of things to do. I would have a planting party and I would let anyone in the world go there.
Many residents of Abbeyfield Residential Care Home have fond memories of Keynsham past, the close-knit community, and enjoyable times when young and old could get together to celebrate.
I do remember the Jubilee, was it 77, 78, whatever it was, because there was 8 houses in the close then, and it was 31 people, basically, all out at the big trestle tables. The ladies had all sorted out the food, as you do. But it was all good fun, and it was a very close-knit community in the close, basically, because it was just the 8 houses then.
Now, I can remember the Jubilee year 1977. We had a big street party in Welland Road. I suspect a lot of people did in different places. All the children from Kennet Road, Severn Way and Welland Road. We had a big a big party for the kids. Trestle tables all up through the road and things like that. And when you think about the coronation, the estate just up beyond here, Coronation Avenue, Queen's Road, after 53. That's where those names came from. And there's a princess, Princess Close. Yeah.
I remember seeing the Queen by the New Inn, I think, or coming down there. Now I can still see in my mind's eye the High Street from that time, particularly Stokes, the shop with all the lovely china and everything in. My parents owned a small haberdashery shop on Queen's Road that sold everything from wool, handkerchiefs and embroidery silks. But unfortunately those small shops now have gone because the shop is now an Indian takeaway.
(1977) Silver Jubilee. I've got a little photograph of my children at a tea on Manor playing fields. You can't see it very well. I can just about pick out my 2. And also, we stood down on the bridge at the bottom of Bath Hill to watch the Queen come through. And my mother bought the kids an Australian flag and a British flag to fly. Because they were both born there. So that's what I remember about the Queen visiting, yeah.
So we're having a garden party and we're going to hopefully have a nice day that we can actually have it in the garden. We've built the carriage out the front, we've got red, white and blue. We have a singer who's going to sing some knees up songs for them, so, you know, and go back to that kind of era. We've got crown making and bunting making. So we're really, really looking forward to being able to have a nice garden party in honour of the Queen.
A lot of the visitors and volunteers at Keynsham Mencap Club Night are looking forward to their 2022 Jubilee celebrations.
For Keynsham Mencap, I think it's really important for the guys here to have somebody to look up to. It brings the community together, I think, something like this. So, yeah, it'd be great. Brilliant. Tea and cake. What are we doing at Mencap that is to do with the Jubilee?
We're doing all sorts.
We're doing a nice...
disco.
Yeah, we are. We can celebrate with tea, cake and party music.
Yeah, and PE day as well is very similar.
Yeah, no, that is true. Yeah. What do you think about the Queen?
Well, I do like the Queen because she always gets dressed up in these colours.
I'm sure she would love this pink.
Yes.
You're all matching, got your shoes on as well. So
I've got my sandals on.
Yeah, nice bright pink. To go with your top.
Yes.
And your glasses as well.
Pink to make the boys wink. Have I made you laugh?
So I'm gonna like have my Jubilee flag out and get some like a sort of like a sewing thing where you put on and then make a cape and stuff.
Yeah. And you got like a little street party as well going on, haven't we?
Yeah, over in Keynsham Park Centre on the 4th of June.
Which would be great. So did you ever do things like street parties?
Yes.
And what did you do on those street parties?
Raising the flag.
Yeah. Nice. Did you
I-
have anything to drink, like a nice cup of tea?
Yeah, cup of tea / a cake.
You love your tea as well, don't
Yeah.
you?
I went to London and I saw the Buckingham Palace, and a lot of the photos you can have taken with the horses and you can have them taken with the people outside Buckingham Palace.
What's Mencap doing? We're having a nice disco.
Yeah, disco for the Queen. Dancing, because I love dancing. But can I mention something? I am happy because I got my boyfriend here, William. And he, yeah, he's
Oh, nice! We've got the Queen of Keynsham with Prince William.
Yes, with Prince William, my partner.
Nice. Wicked.
Yeah, we can't see your face because the flag's in the way.
Oh, sorry.
Keynsham is a town proud of its past and its present. This Platinum Jubilee is a wonderful opportunity for residents to come together as a strong community, to make new memories, and to honour the 70-year reign of the Queen, Elizabeth II.